Hey everyone, this is Christy, Salty Stitcher Designs. I am back today to show you how to start a project. So if you're a beginning stitcher and you are just taking up cross stitch for the first time, I want to go through step by step the process for starting a new project. I happen to be working on a very special project today that's going to require a little bit of preparation, and I've done all of the shopping at my local needlework store, which is Stitcher's Memphis. You can see, yeah, you can see it right here. And I do have my project bag, and I'm just going to lay everything out for you and show you what you need to get started in stitching. I hope you enjoy it. And before I get started here, if you are new to my channel, please go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe. That helps more than you know. Share it with your friends. I would be incredibly grateful as I'm trying to grow the channel and want to bring you great content like this. So yeah, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we're going to get to it. Okay, so you should be able to see the pattern, my new pattern. This is Sharon's Harp and Garden, and I'm just looking over here at it. So when you get a pattern, the first thing you want to take a look at is you want to figure out how big it is, and that will allow you to figure out what size fabric you need and what thread it requires. So in this case, scrolling through the pattern, all of this information is on the back page. So as you can see, we have who it's designed by, we have the type of thread that's used. And in this case, we're using Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works, Petite Treasure Braid, Gentle Art Sampler threads. And all of the threads are listed here. On this chart, it also tells you the name of the thread, the number of the thread, because most threads are classified by number, and then it has the length, and it is in skeins. So this tells you how many skeins of thread that you need. So in this case, you can see down at the bottom, holly, that is the predominant color in the pattern, has the most stitches, and it needs 1.3 skeins. So you're going to have to buy 2 skeins to complete this pattern, as an example. Black seems to be the next amount at 0.8. It depends on how you stitch, but I would probably buy 2 skeins just in case. And then looks like you just need 1 skein for the rest of it. This also tells you what fabric the pattern uses. So in this case, it's 32 count wabi sabi raw wool. And it also tells you the stitch count, and it is 234 by 209. So the way you find the size of the pattern, other than looking at it down here, if you're stitching over 2 threads on 36 count, it is equivalent to 18 count Aida. And the size of the pattern is going to be 13 by 11.6. But that doesn't mean you buy 13 by 11.6 only. You want to provide a buffer. Usually the industry standard is somewhere between 2 to 3 inches on either side, and that allows you to manipulate the pattern in your frame. But it also allows you to have a proper border. If you accidentally count wrong, so you still have a little bit of fabric to work with, and then B, to frame it. So you want to buy a piece of fabric that's going to be, if you add 6 to each number here, you want something that is maybe 19 by 18. So you want a fabric large enough to accommodate not only your pattern, but a modest border. And that, I think, is about all you need from the pattern right now. We can go to page 1 of this pattern, and usually there's a rendering on the front. This happens to be computer generated because I'm getting ready to stitch the model. And then you'll see the patterns. So, and we can zoom in here to take a look. So I chose to do color, color on symbols. So as you can see, here's your symbols, and we're changing color, and we have different symbols here indicating the color, and this is when you want to go all the way down. So in this case, actually, this is a great example. On this case, I've put the key on each page, so you can tell that right here, this little square is Weeks Dye Works 1279. I happen to know that that is holly, and I'm going to use that to stitch this. And you can tell in this little rosebud, there's a lot of color changes. And what you can also tell what's missing from this pattern, and I need to make the correction, but I have already provided instructions, is this right here. This is going to be a back stitch, and the author of the pattern should, in this case it's me, should indicate what color to backstitch these harp strings in there. That is one thing missing, so I'm going to update that on this chart. But I think that's all you need to know right now. That'll get you started. That'll get you to the store to buy your supplies, buy your fabric, pick out your threads. And I encourage you, if this is your first time, try and find a local needlework shop that you can go to and ask for help. They're always willing to help. When I was picking out colors for this particular pattern, I went to my local needlework shop, Stitchers Memphis, and they helped me pick out the right fabric and the right colors. And you can do the same. Very easy. Everyone's willing to help. Okay, so I've stopped sharing the pattern there. So what we're going to do, we're going to shift venues a little bit. I'm going to lay out all of my materials and show you what I have, and show you how to get set up on your first cross stitch project. Before we get started, if you are interested in joining a cross-stitch retreat at sea, I am excited to announce the Whips and Waves cross-stitch retreat. It is on the beautiful Celebrity Reflection. It is in September of 27. I will put all of the information down in the box below. This is perfect trip, perfect retreat for first-time cruisers, first-time cross-stitch retreat goers, and we are heading to beautiful Bimini, to the Turks and Caicos, and we're heading to Key West, and we're sailing out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's in September of 2027. Nisi Lynn and Patty Penn, Stitching with My Kitties, will be joining us on the cruise. Mom Michelle is coming along. I'm trying to get my sister to join us. But if you want to join us and to just have a wonderful, relaxing 6 nights, 7 days at sea, cross-stitching or crafting with friends, please go ahead and sign up. And again, everything is down below. Okay, so we have everything laid out here for our project. We have our project bag. This is from my local needlework shop, Stitchers Memphis. Thank you, Sarah and the team, for helping me pick out all of the colors and everything. We have our fabric, and this is 36 count wabi sabi raw wool. And I have a yard here because I am sending this off to a few model stitchers. I'm stitching 4 of them, so 3 are heading out to model stitchers, so we'll cut this fabric in a minute. I have some needle minders here, and these are accoutrement designs, and yeah, accoutrement designs mag friends. So I have my needle minders here. I have my thread. And for this pattern, as we talked about, Petite Treasure Braid, we've got some Gentle Art samplers, Weeks Dye Works, and Classic Color Works here. And these are beautiful. I'm just going to set these right here. These colors are absolutely beautiful. And a pair of scissors. Now these are really great. You can take these on the airplane with you. These are just little snips. I love that they have a cover here. I love that they're small. You can snip it really close to the fabric if you need to. And these are, see if I can do this with one hand. These are pretty sharp. These are really sharp, so they're nice and sharp, but they won't get confiscated at TSA. So that's great. Right here I have some John James tapestry needles. I like to use size 26, but needles are highly personal. So I'm going to try out the John James here, but usually I use Sullivan's ballpoint needles, and I like to use 26, size 26. That works for me. And I have my Nerge frame. This is 195 millimeters. It is, I don't know, I think it's 8 inches, an 8-inch frame. So that works for me. It fits well in my project bag, fits nicely. So I like this size Nerge. The larger ones seem a little too unruly in the stand. And the smaller ones just don't give you a lot of room to maneuver. So that is what we have. So now going back to our stitch count, I'm going to just put this to the side. Put these to the side for a minute, and now going back to our stitch count, if you have a large piece of fabric like I do, you're probably going to want to cut it down a bit. Cut it down a bit, definitely measure twice, cut once. I'm going to cut this into roughly fat quarters. I am going to have a little bit extra. And another pro tip, so see how the edges are fraying a little bit? That is perfectly normal with this type of linen, and if you have a sewing machine at home or a serger, you can just sew right along the edge, obviously unfold it, but you can sew right along the edge and it'll stop it from fraying. Some people use fray check. I think it's kind of messy. Serger is best, but not everyone has a serger. Otherwise, you can just sew along the edge and it'll stop it from fraying. Some people use tape. I don't recommend tape unless it's acid-free. And that kind of leaves a residue along the edge as well, if you keep it on there long enough. So again, sewing it is best, serging it is best, and that'll stop it from fraying on you. Okay, so I'm going to measure twice, 3 times, and I'm going to cut this into pieces so I can send them off to the model stitchers and I can get started. Okay, I'm back here and I have my frame right here and I have my piece of fabric cut down, and now we're gonna prepare the cross stitch project to start. So on this particular project it was, let me bring my stitch back up here. So it is 234 stitches by 209 stitches. So we know the 234 is going to be across and the 209 is going to be down, and we can confirm this by looking at the pattern. Yep, so if I go to page 3 of my pattern, I can see 234, and then if I go to the last page, the last page of my pattern, 220. So it's definitely wider across, so we're going to put this part, this means it's a Zweigart linen with the orange stitching on the side. We're going to put that on the left side, so we always know what end is up. We are going to find the middle of the project. I like to In this case, since I don't have a huge piece of fabric, I want to make sure it's centered and as precise as possible. So we're gonna find the middle of this project or the middle of this piece of fabric. So I'm going to fold it in half once, and then I'm going to fold it in half again. Make sure all of the corners are lining up to the best of our ability. And if you're off by a couple stitches, that's okay. You don't want to be off by inches, but a couple stitches is okay. Remember, we've built in that 3-inch border when we measured our fabric. So here we know that this is going to be the center, roughly. So to the best of your ability, you can crease it. I don't recommend marking your fabric at all, but give it a good little crease so you know where the center is. And you can do that. I just rub it a little bit. And I forgot to say earlier, just make sure your space is nice and clean when you start. And also you want to take a look at your fabric. So here you can see I've that just a little crease, just rubbing it, showed me where the center of this fabric is. So that's where I want to start today. And then take a look at your fabric. Obviously there are two sides of the fabric. The variegation in the dye, depending on which fabric you're using, may be different. So find the side that's going to work for you. Some fabrics are even printed, so make sure you are going to be stitching on the side of the fabric that you want. I like to stitch into the center of my fabric. What that does, it allows me to roll the fabric up, and I'll show this to you in a minute. Roll the fabric up, so I'm always touching the back of the fabric, and I'm never touching the front. So in order to do that, want to put this piece of your nerd frame, or whatever frame you're using, on the bottom. I'm just going to move the threads out of the way. I'm going to find the center, which is right here. The other thing I do to mark the center is I will take one of my needles. So we're going to go ahead and open this package of needles. I'm going to take one of the needles and I'm going to mark the center because we're going to pull it pretty tight, and I'm just going to need to know where to start. Okay, so that's the center, and we have our frame just down below. We're going to take the top of the frame and we're just going to set it right in there. Right in there. Okay, so now you have your frame. You can see you're stitching into the frame, and when you roll it up, you're touching the back of the fabric, which is always nice. And we're going to use this and start cinching it down. Now, I like a really tight fabric. It is up to you. If you stitch in hand, that is great too. But see how we lost our center? So that's why it's important to kind of mark it in some way. You can mark it with thread. I just like to use the needle. And then I'm going to pull gently on each side just so I can get this tight, and then I'm going to cinch it down some more. And right now it's pretty tight. You can't hear it. It's not drum tight, but it's tight enough for me to start working on. Okay. So now that is set up, let's see, I'm going to pause here. For the magic of editing, I need to get a few fabric ties, so stand by. Okay, so what I went to get is some magnetic silicone ties. You can get these on Amazon. I think I even have a link to these on my website, and they're basically little cable ties that are magnetic. And what we're going to do with these is we are going to use these just to get a handle on our fabric. So I'm going to come over to the side and roll it up. And use one of these ties. Hold that in place, and I'm going to do this on every side. So I'm going to end up ironing this, so I'm not worried about the fabric getting to it. We can adjust this here in a minute, but we're going to go to each side, roll it up. So the front is not getting dirty, and we can just keep some of the excess fabric manageable. And the final side. This one came off. Okay, so again, this is our top, this is our center, we have our magnetic ties. If you have a grime guard, that's always helpful. You can use the magnetic ties to keep things down, then put the grime guard around it. I do not have a grime guard with me, but that is always helpful. And I think that is it for preparation. Oh, let's do one more thing. Let's get our needle minder on there. I do like these magnetic ties because they also are also needle minders. You can use them as needle minders, so that's always helpful. So there, we have our needle minder. I always like to keep 2 needles on a project. So we're going to go ahead, put our needle there, and we are set. Also, these scissors, they're really neat too, because you can just keep them right on your project. And we have our thread, so I think we are ready to start stitching. Okay, so the last thing you may want before you start stitching is some sort of lap stand. This is a Kay's Creation lap stand, and I love it. I have like 3 of these spread out. It has a little, this all made out of wood, in this left arm. You can put it on the left or the right. It manipulates, and it has this nice large clamp. It's hard to see at this angle, but it has a nice big clamp that can hold anything. It can hold an urge, it can hold a Q-snap. It holds a lot of things. So you may want this. I find this to be great. It not only does it, and I'm not sponsored by this, it is just my favorite stand. It lays almost flat, so you can put it in your luggage. So I bring it pretty much everywhere, to retreats. I bring it on cruise ships, and it is just a handy lap stand to have around. This is, I think, my third lap stand of its kind, and I think you can find it on Amazon. You can find it, some local needlework shops carry it, but it's a great lap stand. So this is what I use to stitch, and again, I'm rolling my fabric up so that I'm touching the back, so I'm not worried when I put it in this clamp. But if you are worried, you can put some felt in there. Also, you can put a little cover, you can put a grime guard on this and clamp it. But since I'm going to start in the middle, I am just going to go ahead and set this up. And now I am truly ready to go. And ready to start stitching. I think that's it for now. This is how you set up your first cross stitch. I have another video. It is in the library of my YouTube videos and it goes through setting up your first cross stitch. Also, it also goes through all of your stitching, where to start, how to start a thread. on here. So if you're into that, go ahead and check out that video. I'll link it below. And yeah, I think that's it. Happy stitching, everyone. And leave me a comment if you like this video. If you want me to show you something, if there's a topic you want me to dive into, let me know. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me. If you want to see other videos like this, please take a look in the description. I've linked my beginning cross stitch video series for other examples and actually how to start your first couple of stitches. Thanks for joining me, and please like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you know someone who is starting their first cross stitch project. All right, everyone, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.